Hey everybody, it's Troy Lynn with Top Trail. Welcome to the second episode of Top Trail Talks Tack with SpecTACKular. Top Trail is it's a great ride logging program for trail riders, and it's open to every breed of equine to keep. And what we do is we log our rides there and keep you a nice, neat record of all your trail rides, and you log your lifetime and annual miles. You get certificates. You can join challenge. Well, everybody gets to join a challenge if you're a part of the program. And our quarterly mileage challenge, challenges. I do this every time, are based on mileage, and they're sponsored by wonderful partners of ours like SpecTACKular. And we're doing a series with Sherry about Tack. And this is Sherry, who's with me tonight. And like I said, this is episode 2 of many to come. So we hope you tune in to each episode because you're going to learn something really great about Tack. And Sherry's the president and CEO of SpecTACKular Tack. The website is www.spectackular.com, and it's SpecTACKular.com. I should know. I type it all the time. I know how to type it too. So, and with Sherry is her lovely assistant, Sophie. And she's really a great model and an ambassador for the brand. So this week, Sherry is going to share with us some tips for measuring, fitting, and ordering new tack. And this is geared toward the trail rider. So if you ride trails and you're interested in trail tack, not necessarily like roping or rodeo tack or barrel racing or endurance racing or anything like that, this is for you. Although Sherry can help you with those other disciplines, but we're going to focus on trail tack today. So Sherry, one of the things, I don't ever use a breast collar, but I sure would like to know. And sometimes I need one. So I do have one, actually. I don't use it, and I think it's because I'm not sure how to actually get it set up correctly on my horse. So would you help us with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Breast collars are kind of, they're very interesting to me. Certain people would never be without one. And one of the misconceptions I think about a breast collar for trail riding is that it's not to hold your saddle on. It's not to correct bad saddle fit, but if your saddle is slipping back, a breast collar should engage and prevent the hazard, if you will, of the saddle slipping too far back, which can cause all kinds of accidents and problems, obviously, when you're on the back of a horse going up a hill. I'm not going to sit here and tell you everybody needs to have a breast collar on their horse. I always have. It's just kind of a course of habit for me. And for me, it's kind of an added layer of safety. Sophie's saddle was custom made for her, so her saddle really, really fits good. But I have had little tack emergencies where girths have come loose, probably, definitely a saddling error. And anyway, so enough about the why a breast collar. Let's get into how we like a breast collar for trail to fit. First of all, the one that Sophie is wearing, are you able to see? I hope.
Yep, I see it. Yep.
Okay. The one Sophie is wearing is what we call a trail breast collar. And the definition of that within our company is that we want the shoulder strap to be aligned with the horse's shoulder. And hang on just a second. Come here, Sophie. Atta girl. Whoa. Hopefully you can see that a little bit better. So with the shoulder straps on a trail breast collar that has been properly adjusted, we want this shoulder strap to come right across here. We have a wither strap, and this wither strap, its whole job is to help hold this into position. It just floats along. And then these, which we call the saddle connectors, the length of it, what's going to dictate that is where your saddle falls in proportion to the shoulder. So if we tighten these, you can see now we've completely changed the angle of that shoulder strap. And instead of floating across that shoulder blade at that same angle, then instead it is actually going to hinder her shoulder blade movement. I think I can show you a little bit. I don't know if you can see that in through there, but again, that's not what we want. That's what we want to avoid. In the old days, myself included, I would ride with a Western breast collar, and that would cut off the shoulder and therefore the movement. Well, the endurance riders and then the gaited riders figured out that you really need to leave this shoulder, this whole shoulder out on the trail free. And that is indeed so you can achieve good gait. But also, if a horse needs to lunge out of a jam and you have got the whole shoulder hindered in its ability to move, that's not what you want. So again, you want to follow with the shoulder strap, let it sit right there on that shoulder blade, adjust the saddle connectors back and forth so that you achieve that angle. And then in terms of how tight, this breast collar, a trail breast collar for trail, should not be in constant tension or contact at any time. It should literally just be hanging on the horse. Again, its sole purpose being if that saddle slips back and on her body, this is about right, it's going to engage and get us to the top of the hill until I can get off and fix whatever has gone wrong with the saddle. I see a lot of tightly fit breast collars, and then people have a rub problem, and often the rub problem is truly a fit issue. And I see a lot of fuzz and padding and other things that have been put underneath the breast collar because it's rubbing, and if it was floating and in the correct position and then sewn and stitched right, that would really be unnecessary. Our breast collars have the added feature, we not only don't line them unless you make us, and then we will, but we don't like to line them, and it's unnecessary. But ours also don't have that padding that goes behind the ring on the breast collar.
I've seen that.
I tell the story, and probably you've even heard this, Troy Lynn. Back when I was riding with leather, I had a big old fuzzy leather thing that was behind this breast collar ring. And one day it dried off to the side, and then I was on the internet trying to figure out how to get a neoprene thing to straighten out the leather thing, and it was left to rub on my horse to begin with. So I pulled off that pad and began to kind of reverse engineer things, and I figured out that, yeah, they were putting seams and all kinds of things right there. Well, then they had to add padding. So we don't do that. Everything, even when we have bling, oops, it's a little dirty, sorry, has absolutely nothing left to rub on the horse. And as we talked last week, biothane is used actually to hold NFL football players' shoulder pads on. So the strap will not rub unless it's assembled or stitched in correctly. And we go out of our way to make sure neither of those things happen. So the last thing that I would mention about a breast collar is the strap that goes between the legs. Everyone has a little different opinion. Sophie's saddle actually is a little further forward than it normally is, but I like about a fist between the horse's body and the strap. Like it actually should be. It should actually be more like that.
Okay.
And the reason for that is if it's too long, they can actually cross in a river, get a hoof hung up, and yeah, you just don't want that. And you also, if your girth would for any reason start to slip back, again, you want it in a position to engage the breast collar before the girth would slip on back. So anyway, does that?
Yes, that is very helpful. I have a very like a horse that's like a rail. And, you know, when we get up to the top of that big hill, I feel like I'm about on his butt. So,
Yeah.
and I really need to put that breast collar on him and use it.
Well, we've all been there. We do sell other styles of breast collars that are designed to fit slightly different. We do a single strap, which is literally right across the chest and it floats still. And we have a pulling collar and some other options. If some of the top trail riders are interested in learning about that, we can certainly discuss that some other evening. I'd be happy to.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Sounds
and
good.
oh yes, and it does look good too. That's also important in spectacular land.
It does. Yes, it looks very,
This,
very,
this
very flashy.
particular one, I should tell you, is one of our original designs.
Mm-hmm.
So in addition to everything else, this particular one has easy change shoulders on it,
Oh, wow.
which is pretty cool because you can change, like Sophie and I are very matchy tonight. We're getting ready. We're getting ready to go down the road, and so I will instead put her roadworthy tack on. So you know, in theory, we don't get run over. So
Very, very cool.
it
That is
is.
so cool.
I have to tell you, I'm kind of conservative normally with dressing my horse, but I've had more fun with those.
Oh,
Being able
yeah.
to change the brow bands and the shoulders.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
This just
awesome.
happens to be another version that's a little quieter, if you will.
Uh-huh. That's very
So,
pretty too.
yeah,
Very
it's been
pretty.
fun.
I
And
like that.
something, one last thing on the breast collar before we leave that is that I don't want to spend time saddling and tacking up. So I like things that happen quick. And I'll show you real quickly how this goes off since it's already on, and then we'll put it back on. There's 4 snaps.
Pull it off. Can we take this off?
I don't know. Can you see pretty well or not? Try
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I can, yeah, we can
Okay.
see. Yes.
Okay. All right. So 1, 2, 3. It's the same snap on that side. And then we have the wither strap like that.
Nice.
So all 4 of those, and this thing is
off.
on completely, and we can go throw it in a bucket of water, and
Mm-hmm.
it does need to be washed. So that's a lovely idea. And then of course when I put it on, that whole bit is reversed. Many breast collars you have to leave with the saddle, or it's a big buckling thing, and I just don't like that. So anyway, so here we go. Under, and that snaps.
Yep.
The saddle into the saddle on the other side, and snapped into the girth, and boom, you're done.
You're ready. That's pretty cool. Thank you for
Yeah.
making it easy for us.
Oh yeah, it's you know, need. I don't like spending time on things like that, right?
Yeah. Now,
Nothing could ever happen.
would you talk to us a little bit about, maybe we'll go over the head stall fitting on the next one, but
Yeah,
I would like for you to talk to us about the rein length.
Oh yeah, that is something so overlooked. It just, we talk about saddles, saddle pads, everything else, but not that. And a couple of things, yes. This happens to be one of our many styles of reins, and some things with our reins are very consistent. This is a roper style. We love these scissor snaps. Not everyone does, and they can be removed either at the time of purchase or after purchase. They can be completely removed, but I love them. So snap in, snap in. Are you able to see that okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And then with Miss Sophie, with these reins, and hang on, I don't know, I'm gonna crawl up here. Maybe Raj can move the camera. Can you see okay?
Yep.
With reins, I have certainly discovered that reins in general are super personal. I like to hold mine right here by my horn, and where you like to use, hold yours is up to you. I'm not telling you where you should hold them. I have no professional training in that regard, but this is where I like mine, and I want to be able to make contact with the bit without much effort, right? I see sometimes people that their reins are so long, they're having to, pull way, way back, or they're so short for their stance and their horse's body that they're having to, really do this, right? And we don't want either one. So figure out where you like your reins, figure out how much slack or room that you want, and then you can adjust or shorten these reins accordingly. And since we tend to be seeing a lot of smaller horses, that is a good thing. Our reins come at the rope reins come at the very traditional 8'5" length. And so that's kind of old school, a little longer and more like they used to come before they started getting shortened in manufacturing, if you will. So anyway, and then while I'm up here, this specialty rein or betrayal specialty rein, part of why you're able to adjust this and very much customize it is because it has what we call a popper on it. And this popper was designed so that you can hang on to it and let your horse graze or let them drink. And of course, she's probably not going to demo that. Head down, baby. No. Anyway, but I think you get the idea. And one of my recent uses of this thing is it's a very modern one. When I used to take pictures, I had to hold on to the rein or put it around my horn. And now with this popper, I'm just able to do that. But
nice.
That's my own style. And then with the rein, here's what I was saying that you can shorten them, and we have instructions on this, is literally, this is called a Conway buckle. You would undo that, figure out the length that you want, and then you would poke the new holes in that position. I get asked pretty frequently, well, how do I know how long I want them, or how do I shorten them?
Right.
And so I do it in a safe environment, like a round pin, right? But go ahead and just pretend shorten, meaning there's no hole there yet. Reattach your reins and go right around the arena a few minutes and see if that's the right, length for you, or right in a safe environment. And then you will know, and you can mark them accordingly, because you can always make it shorter, you just can't make it longer, right?
So what are the lengths that you offer?
Well, we'll make to custom order any size. Yeah, absolutely any size. We even make driving reins. But for most trail riders, a roper rein is 8'5". That's how it comes if you buy in stock or you do the default setting. And then if you're doing split reins, those are 7'5". And we measure that literally from the tip of the snap to the tip of the snap on or the end of the rein, and as it may be.
Okay. That's very, very helpful. So now I want to just real quick talk about how to properly fit and set the curb chain.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's
a good one, because that also does not get discussed very often. Hang on one sec. I got props. One of the first things is that with curb chains, let me get her back in view. Come here, babe. Oh, babe. Good girl. So one of the first things is you kind of got to assess your animal. So Sophie happens to have about 60% of her nose that is above the corner of her mouth, and about 40% that's underneath. We make the smallest or shortest curb chain that there is. I got so sick of going into some tack store and buying this monster curb chain that was a piece of crud and gonna rust anyway. And then on top of that, the thing was made for an XXL horse, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we make the smallest curb chain there is. It's all stainless and biothane, but it is still just too long for some horses. And in Sophie's case, it's too long for her.
Mm.
So I am actually using a English curb chain on her. That's what this is called, and we do sell them. But it allows me a great deal of flexibility because I can shorten it as much as needed. And she doesn't need much, but I like to have 2 to 3 fingers for her underneath her chin.
Okay.
And then if you can see when I pull back on the reins, it is engaging underneath her chin. And that's really all that this horse certainly needs.
Okay.
Now, some little hacks, if you will, that I will show you.
Mm-hmm.
The worst part of an English curb chain, in my opinion, is the hooks. Now, we sell these, and that is what comes with your traditional, hopefully you can see those, your traditional English curb chain.
Yep.
Well, I don't like these things. They're a real pain in the neck. They just are, because you have to get out pliers, and it requires a whole lot of strength. And then those would then fasten to the bit, and if you're taking the curb chain on and off all the time, it's a real pain. So I went to Home Depot, and I got these little Bionaire clips by a company called Night Eyes.
Oh,
I love those things. And I've now used that same Bionaire clip, I think is how it's pronounced, for my saddle packs and all kinds of things. But
yes.
Anyway, those are available at most of your major retailers anymore, and they are stainless steel. We
just swap those out. Swap those out.
$2-3. So that's my hack tip.
Awesome. I love it.
And then all of our curb chains, you can either get the cute matching buckles for the Western embossed.
Ooh, cool.
Or you can choose the polished finish, is what we call this buckle.
Mm-hmm.
And this actually, if you're going to be taking your curb chain on and off a lot, is probably your better move, because it has that nice roller.
Oh,
and
nice.
it will turn and allow you to get it on and off a lot easier.
That's nice.
So then we do sell our curb chains, the traditional kind, with a chain and without.
That was my next question.
Yep. So we saw all 3 types. So again, no chain at all, just the biothane with the chain or the English curb strap.
Nice. And I got to say, I love the stainless steel.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
we put a lifetime warranty on them.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got a different story. Can I have that, please? Come on. Just show that to you.
Supposed to go.
Yeah, she's ready. So anyway, that's the English curb chain that's actually on the bit in
I
there.
have that on one of mine. Yeah. Is that the S-Biner from Night Eyes?
And if anybody wants particulars, they can just send me a little private message, or even just put it on the board or whatever.
Yeah, I have some of those. I love those clips. So, all right. Well, this has been really awesome, Sherry. We've learned so much. I'm ready to go out and play with my tack.
It's always fun. I've been the benefactor of so many, teaching me so much. Every time I'm out in a horse camp, I learn something new about tack and why it's adjusted a certain way, and it's all good. It's all good.
Thanks for passing it along to us, and we'll catch up with you again probably next week or the next week after we get this one, and we're going to do episode 3. We'll be talking about differences in biothane tack shops and why made in America is so important. So
Troy-Lynn, I should also just say, hopefully this has helped people with tack, their horses tack, whether it's ours or not. But if they do want to order tack from us, and want to know how to measure for the breast collar and things, there's videos on our website. It has me with longer hair and a different horse, but that will provide to them that kind of information.
That sounds good. Yes, if you are interested in Sherry's Tack, be sure to get in touch with her because you can tell she's an awesome person to work with. So,
Well, we love our top trail riders.
and the best tack around, I'm telling you. So, all right. Well, everybody,
All right.
thanks for joining us. And until next time, get out and ride on.
Oh yeah,
We'll
absolutely.
see y'all later.
Have a spectacular day. Bye bye.
You too. Bye-bye.